Hello, thanks for watching. I'm Jessica Gladhart, a local realtor here with Gladhart Realty, and I'm sitting down with Sherri Davey, the owner of Heavenly Specialties. Here they offer a very unique experience of being able to sit down in their elegantly decorated cafe, choose from over 100 different tea blends, along with a full breakfast, lunch, and dessert menu. I'm excited to talk with Sherri more about her business and all she can offer us here in our community of Spokane. So thanks for joining me, Sherri.
Yes, glad to do it.
Yeah, no problem. So first of all, I'd like to know more about you. So where are you originally from and what made you decide to open this business?
Okay, well, I've always been an inland Northwest girl. I was born in Post Falls and raised in Coeur d'Alene. I got married 27 years ago and moved to Spokane and have resided in Deer Park for the last 18 years. I'm a mother of 4, and all but my oldest, who's in California, the rest work here on and off. My daughter is my head waitress and second in command. But why did I get started? Well, when my kids were little, I needed a second job and started selling tea, my own line of teas, loose leaf teas, and I did it in a home party format and developed a Heavenly Specialties. And so that was probably 14 years ago. And we would go to craft fairs and the Spokane Fair and all throughout the Northwest selling our teas and doing bookings for in-home tea parties where we taught people about tea. And that went on for like about 8-9 years. We were successful, but things began to change. There was a shift in culture. The younger generation grew up on social media, wasn't really into home parties, things like Tupperware parties, and we all began to fade. And my generation, the older generation, they were doing them less and less, and everybody who wanted to do one had already done one. Did hundreds of parties in this region, and people started to say, where can we buy your teas? Do you have a brick and mortar store? And so I began to think about that knew in Spokane that a brick and mortar tea shop would not survive if all I did was sell tea. And I knew that I loved to cook, I loved to bake, and a dream in the back of my head was always to have a little cafe. But I also knew that just a cafe in Spokane wouldn't necessarily succeed. And a tea room had been something I had thought of. I loved doing tea parties for people and doing all the fancy stuff. But again, I knew just a place like this, a tea room, would not necessarily succeed because you are everybody's special event, but you're not there every day.
Yeah.
And so you see them maybe once a year. And so it just, I thought, so what can I do? And then I came up with the concept, well, if I do all 3, if we do all 3, we'd have slow days in one area and other days it would pick up in that area. So I began to get that concept, and it has worked. So we have our tea room where you could come in and have reservations for high tea and have a tea service experience. We also have the cafe where it's walk-in basis and we serve a full menu, and we have become quite the breakfast house. I never dreamed when I opened the cafe that we would be a breakfast destination, but breakfast far outdoes everything else, especially by DoorDash now. We are constantly sending breakfast out the door to people. And then the tea shop, where we have in the cafe, we have a corner where we have all of our scone mixes and teas and teaware and so on. So that saved us during the pandemic because we were always open with the tea shop selling tea, and then we did to go in the cafe, and of course the tea room just sort of sat on vacation while we waited for people to be able to come back.
Well, it's good you were able to find ways to kind of adapt when everything was shut down.
Yeah, we had to. So I never really readjusted our hours severely. I went to 4 days a week when we had the first shutdown back in March. But like I said, we were able to keep the tea shop open and keep the to-go orders. So we never had to totally close down. Even though to-go orders that's not enough to make a living on. It wasn't enough to keep my employees. I had to go back to just my daughter and I during that time. But at least we still hung around.
Yeah. So next, just what motivates you to do this?
I love people. I love serving people, cooking for people, visiting with people. And so we've been in business about 4.5 years, and I've made so many friends. I have customers who are loyal, repeat customers, and they come in and they become like family after a while. And I have some people who are in here every day. And so, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to connect with people and just be able to visit with them, and I can do that. And plus, I love treating people. And when you're doing the tea room, you're actually giving them an experience. And you bring them joy because they sit down, they get waited on, they get fancy foods, and they get the whole experience. And to just be able to do that for people is just a wonderful thing. But what motivates me is the people themselves. I'm a people person, and I love to talk. And so my husband actually says when I get home, I'm so worn out that I'm just quiet. He goes, "Oh, good, you got rid of your 40,000 words for the day." And I said, "Yeah, I did."
Yeah, that's great. It seems like such a good fit for you.
It is. It's exactly what, before I started this, I was always looking for any opportunity to put on an event for somebody. If we had a funeral in the family, our families do a dinner afterwards, and for all the people coming, and I would be like, I'll do it, let me put it on. And so I just had to find things, whether it was a birthday party or whatever for my family, that I could do my talents and do what I love to do. Now I do it every day, and so I'm not necessarily raising my hand for Christmas at my place. Or for birthday dinners. I'm like, no, let's go out to eat.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, next, what do customers say they love most about your business?
They love the food.
Yeah.
They love the food. I make everything from scratch. We make our own pancake mix. Everything is made in-house. And they like that. I mean, I cook for them the same way I cook at home. We use olive oil to fry our food. I use real butter in our ingredients. I cook in small batches, not mass quantities, and I don't use all the mixes and tricks that other restaurants do. I make my frosting from scratch, my cakes from scratch. And I like a lot of flavor. So you will find in whatever you get that I put my own twists on recipes to give it more flavor. From my soups, to our baked goods. Our scones are one of a kind. Again, it's my own recipe. Most of the stuff here, from soups to baked goods, are my own recipes.
Oh, really?
Because I love to play around with recipes. I've been doing it since I was a child. So some of the stuff you get, you will not find anywhere else. And also the customers love the service. Like I said, my daughter, we love to talk. And so if they want to visit, if we have time, sometimes we're off a visit, we will visit with them and chat with them, and they just come back again and again, and we eventually get to know them by name. They know us by name, so when you walk in the door and it's like, "Hey Bob, what can I get for you today?" And they like that. They like feeling a place where someone knows who they are and they can visit. And we do have a lot of widowers who we're their social life. They come in for that cup of coffee today and to chat and to give us a hard time, and we joke with them back. And so just that feeling of closeness that you could have in a small cafe and that you wouldn't necessarily have in a big retail, well, not retail, but a bigger chain place.
Yeah, I can tell just from when I walked in here today. It feels so nice and homey and comfortable, and you've been just so hospitable in the short time I've been here, so I can tell it's a really, really nice place.
Thank you. We try and have an atmosphere of peace and relaxation and calmness and joy. I mean, today, in the hustle and the bustle and the stress and stuff of what's going on in the world, just to be able to come and be able to visit with someone, and hopefully we bring a smile to their faces.
All right. Well, next, what are your goals for the shop over the next year or two?
Oh boy, well, to get over the pandemic bubble,
Yes.
to get back to full operational. And I have a feeling that when we come back, we were just hitting our stride before the pandemic. And now that things are open up, we're beginning to get busy, and I think we're going to come back at full steam ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know we're going to grow. I know we're going to grow. We're going to probably get to the place where we have a waiting line at the door.
Yeah.
And so I just want to manage it correctly. We've done some adjustments already. Just in the last month or two, we've changed some things because we were so slow before. We only needed one freezer and this and that. And I'm preparing ahead for what I know it's coming. And so we've made some adjustments and got better equipment. We got an ice machine. I mean, we didn't even have an ice machine. We would buy ice. And when we ran out, it was like, ah! So, just little things that we've done like that to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know we're going to grow, and I just want to get to this to where it's flourishing. I mean, someday I would like to hand this off to my daughter and step back a little bit, because right now I'm the chief cook, chief baker. Try not to be the chief dishwasher. But I would like to, I have great staff, but I would like to get to the point where I can bring more staff on and get more help for me in some of the specific areas of baking and cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm can step back more and visit more with my customers, because I don't get to spend as much time out as I want because I'm in the back busy.
Yeah. Sounds like you're a busy lady.
Yeah.
All right, well, lastly, what sets you apart from other dining experiences?
Well, like I said, the food. If we have stuff you will not find anywhere else. Our soups, I make an African sweet potato soup, and I had a review that says if that soup doesn't make you famous, your baked goods will. And we have like a artichoke spinach dip soup I make. And our clam chowder, I could just barely, I make a whole bunch and it could be gone instantly. Our Mexican chicken chowder, just all these different soups people love, and they just fly out the door. Same with our baked goods. We have, I have had a lot of people who say this is the best chocolate cake I've ever had. Different things I make that they will not find anywhere else because they're my recipes.
Yeah.
And that, the food, and also the fact that they can shop. Again, there's skull mixes. We have the mixes for my own recipes so they get to make them at home. We are Spokane's biggest tea shop with over 125 blends.
Wow.
They could go to the cafe, or they could have reservations in here for a more upscale dining experience. We have really developed lately through DoorDash because of the pandemic. Before the pandemic, we would maybe do one order a day, maybe two for DoorDash. We were just getting our feet wet with that. Because of the pandemic, we've taken off. Now, between just the DoorDash orders, getting 10, 12 DoorDash, which that doesn't sound much if you're a big restaurant, but for us that's a lot, plus our customers. And of course, they're ordering breakfast because we serve breakfast all day. And we're really known for our breakfast, our blueberry cheesecake French toast and our French toast sandwich. I must have made, just for to-go orders, a dozen French toast sandwiches today. Those are two of our top selling things, and you won't be able to find them anywhere else. So that's what brings our customers back again and again, is just this home-baked food with top-notch flavor and made fresh, because I always do everything in small batches. More work, but at least I can guarantee they're getting a good product. I don't want to waste. I'm not a waste person, so I figure if I make smaller batches, go to the grocery store more often, and everything is fresh and they get a fresh experience, and I don't throw out so much stuff like restaurants do. They throw out a lot of food, and I don't like doing that. So we just do more often and stuff, smaller batches more often.
Well, good for you. It's always nice to have just good quality meals.
Yeah, and we don't do dinner, so we're not a steakhouse.
Yeah.
I don't have a deep fryer, so hamburgers and french fries aren't served here. But we do the breakfast, we have over 24 baked goods at any time for them to choose from, of cookies, bars, home baked pies where we roll out the crust by hand, cakes, and then soup, salads, and sandwiches. So that's pretty much our menu. It's pretty simple, but it's good.
It's pretty extensive for a breakfast lunch menu.
Yeah.
It sounds like anyways.
It does get, my breakfast menu started out like this when we first opened, and within 3 months I realized that wasn't going to work, that people wanted more breakfast. So we do now have a whole page of breakfast items, and they are our top sellers.
Well, that is awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Sherri.
No problem.
Yeah.
I appreciate the interview, and any advertising we could get, we always appreciate it.
Yes, I would love to spread the word about this super cute little cafe. I can't wait to come back and bring my friends, and you can book a reservation in their really elegant looking tea room. So I'm excited for that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So again, I'm Jessica Gladhart with Gladhart Realty, and this is Sherri Davis, owner of Heavenly Specialties. I would highly encourage you and all your friends to come check it out. And feel free to check out our community website, parkbench.com/Lincoln Heights. And if you or your business would like to be featured, feel free to reach out anytime. And thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.